In a quiet town in 2010, there was a young man named Daniel. He had always been ambitious, full of dreams, and eager to make something of himself. Back in high school, he met a girl named Sarah, and from the very beginning, he knew she was special. They grew up together, attended the same classes, and slowly, their bond deepened. By the time they graduated, they were inseparable. A year later, they got married, and in 2013, they bought a beautiful house where they planned to build their future together. Life was everything Daniel had hoped for. Days passed in happiness, filled with laughter, shared dreams, and endless love. He was a rising football star, known for his skill on the field, while Sarah pursued her passion for painting. Everything seemed perfect. Until one ordinary evening, when the strange occurrences began. Daniel was watching a football game, lost in the thrill of the match, when he noticed something peculiar. A lamp in the corner of the room flickered for a second. He glanced at it, but the light was steady again. He shrugged it off and turned back to the television. A few moments later, the lamp dimmed again, this time for a little longer. He frowned. Something felt off. As the night went on, the lamp continued its erratic flickering, each time making his unease grow. Then, something chilling happened. The lamp didn't just flicker, it shifted positions. One moment, it stood on the table. The next, it was slightly turned. His heart pounded. He called Sarah, but she was asleep. He told himself it was just his imagination. The following nights, the phenomenon persisted. The lamp would subtly change positions, and sometimes, in the dead of night, he would hear faint whispers echoing through the room. He couldn't make out the words, but they sent shivers down his spine. It was as if someone was in the room with him, watching. One night, he awoke to the sound of muffled screaming. His body was frozen, drenched in cold sweat. As he turned his head, the lamp was no longer on the table, it was right beside his bed. And inside the glowing light, shadows swirled. Figures. Faces. People he had never met, yet they looked at him with sorrow, as if they were pleading for something. The whispers became louder, the screams sharper. He clutched his head, trying to drown out the noise, but it only grew stronger. And then, darkness. When he opened his eyes, he was no longer in his bedroom. Instead, he was on a football field, but everything was distorted, unfamiliar. The world around him felt like a dream, faint, distant, unreal. And then, realization struck him like a bolt of lightning. He wasn't in his home. He wasn't married. Sarah didn't exist. None of it did. The house, the love, the dreams, it had all been in his mind. In reality, Daniel had been in college, playing football, when he was tackled too hard and lost consciousness for just 10 seconds. But in those 10 seconds, his mind had constructed an entire lifetime, an illusion so vivid that it felt real. And now, as he sat on the field, paramedics hovering over him, the weight of losing something that had never been crushed him from within. He had to mourn a life that had never existed. And that realization? It broke him.